Hello guys, welcome to my first ASMR video. I've been a fan of ASMR for many years, so I thought maybe I'll give this a try. I also like collecting currency on the side, kind of a little hobby of mine. I collect ODO's currency, and I think I have some world currency, but most of my collection is ODO's currency. I apologize for my quality, as this is, I guess, a side project for me, and my collection is huge or magnificent. I'm still pretty new at collecting, so hopefully you don't mind that either. But to start, this is, I guess, the first piece of my collection I like to show you. This is a national banknote from the third charter period, graded, as you can see, by PMG, given a grade of 25, very fine. This note is from Norfolk, Virginia, from the Seaboard National Bank. But let's read more about what national currency is, the specific type of note this is. Here's a book, one of the books I own that kind of helped me I do my research on what I'm collecting or thinking about purchasing. This book is an official Whitman guidebook, United States Currency, 8th edition. I believe the book was published in 2021, so it's a little old, but still accurate information. Here you can see I'm using one Florida Goldback as a bookmarker, but that's a story for another time. So, national banknotes. Authorized by the National Currency Act, February 25th, 1863, and June 3rd, 1864. National banknotes were issued by chartered banks from 1863 to 1928 in large size. During the Civil War, coins of gold and silver were hoarded and practically disappeared from circulation. The unsecured legal tender notes, commonly known as greenbacks, were not popular and not readily accepted by skeptical persons, having no confidence in the government's promise to pay. Although the National Currency Act was not passed until February 26, 1863, as early as April 1862, Spencer M. Clark, Chief of Construction of the Treasury Department, conceived a plan to have national banks issue their own currency. This plan was endorsed by then Secretary of the Treasury, Salmon P. Chase, who directed Clark to invite artists and engravers to submit proposals and designs. Clark had previously suggested that historic pictures be used as back designs for the greenbacks of 1862, claiming that these designs offered greater protection against counterfeiting. His proposed designs were not adopted for legal tender notes, but were adopted for the national banknotes issued under Secretary of the Treasury, William P. Besden. Clark suggested that these designs cover the entire back of the notes. While designs were adopted, the size of each was reduced to allow for space for denomination and legends. Spencer M. Clark later became chief of the division and was largely responsible for the establishment of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Under the original Act of February 25th, 1863, national banks qualifying under the terms of the Act were granted 20-year charters to date, and the enactment of the Act. The Act of June 1864 changed this procedure and permitted granting of charters for 20 years from the date of the charter. Changes in the original Act through the years provided for renewal of charters for 20-year periods. Banks so chartered were permitted to issue national currency not to exceed 90% of the total U.S. government bonds deposited with the Treasury of the United States. So that's just a basic summary of what the national banknote is. Going back to the one I own. This, again, is a $5 national banknote in the third charter period. So if you remember in the summary, they were authorized 20-year charters. And at the end of the term, you could, or I guess the bank could redo their charter, I believe. So this is from the third charter period. Reading what the note says. It says, secured by United States bonds deposited with the Treasurer of the United States of America. Here in this portrait is Benjamin Harrison, the 23rd President of the United States. Just a little fact about him. He is a grandson of the 9th President, William Henry Harrison, and a great-grandson of Benjamin Harrison V, the founding father. In the middle of the notes, here you can see it says, the Seaboard National Bank of Norfolk will pay the bearer on demand $5. Norfolk, Virginia, May 1st, 1912. In the big blue letters, you can see the charter number, 10194. And under the portrait of the 23rd President, you can see the serial number, 59034. These little signatures up here, they can focus, is the Register of the Treasury and the Treasurer of the United States. I believe that's Napier and McClung. On the bottom is the signature of the cashier and president of this bank, the Seaboard National Bank. Looking on the edges of the notes, you can see the number 5 for $5, the charter number, the name of the note, national currency, or I guess type of note, and it's the number 5 again, followed by charter, and so on and so forth. Moving to the back of the note, here's the name, Napier McClung, for the Register and Treasurer of the United States. The portraits. This is depicting an event from U.S. history, the landing of the Pilgrims. Looking closer, see a man holding a woman and her child, and a little pilgrim following along. They are oceanside, the coast. There's a man and another woman in the back, and in the front, you see a pilgrim pulling the boat, which I guess they got off from. He's carrying a little knife. And in the bottom, you can see where it says Landing of the Pilgrims. Again, the event depicting, or the event this is depicting. On the sides, you can see fruits and vegetables in a pot, or I guess cornucopia, possibly. Below that, you can see where it says, again, the type of note, national currency, and its denomination, 5. Below this, I want to say this is the purpose of the notes. So let's attempt to read this. It says here, this note is receivable at par in all parts of the United States, in payment of all taxes and excesses, and all other dues to the United States except duties on imports, and also for all salaries and other debts and demands owing by the United States to individuals, corporations, and associations within the United States, except interests on public debt. Quite a bit of, I guess, rules for this style of note or type of note. Going back to the edge of this note, you can see the number 5 and the Roman numeral 5 alternating throughout the edges of the note. In the corners, you can see again the word 5, Roman numeral 5, and the word 5 again. It's only in that one corner. Interesting. In this corner, you can see the word 5, and I believe the Roman numeral 5 behind it. Not in that corner. Not in that corner. Interesting. You can see how detailed the engraving is to stop counterfeiters. Beautiful note. Going back to the front. And one last look. You can see again, this is a national note from the third charter period from Norfolk, Virginia, the Seaboard National Bank. $5. The style of the 1902 plainback. Serial number 59034. I believe PP stands for printing press B. I might be wrong about that. And the charter number for the third charter period for this note is N194. Again, I'm still pretty new at collecting. I'm still doing my research on all the different notes I purchased, so I apologize if some things I said might be incorrect. So please feel free to correct me in the comments. Or if you know more about this note, also feel free to put that there. And sorry again about the mic quality. It's humble beginnings for me. But okay. Thank you for listening, and I hope to make another video soon. I'm gonna try to maybe do a video per week on my collection. So I hope you guys are looking forward to the next note I could show off. But again, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, night. You know the deal. Thank you.